So, ladies and gentlemen, you got to be careful where you get your information from on these social media platforms because people have an agenda and they want to be able to lead the people in astray and to get people all upset and angry about whatever it is, whatever narrative, whatever agenda they want to push out there. That's exactly what they're trying to do, get everybody up in an uproar. But Donald Trump is he had an interview, a press conference about the birthright citizenship that he is ruling. He got the ruling from United States Supreme Court to be able to push this order, out there to the American people, whatever, basically saying in a nutshell, quote unquote, if you don't have the documents to be an American citizen, then you should not be able to get these rights, get the rights up under the 14th Amendment and get all of these different benefits of being a United States citizen if you don't have the documents to be a United States citizen. See, these people are trying to push the agenda saying that, even if you are an immigrant or overseas and you already have your documentation that you're not a U.S. citizen because you're not from the United States, and that is completely false. And whoever's pushing that agenda out there, man, that is definitely wrong about that or whatever. But we do have a video from Donald Trump's interview with the news media about the order and his ruling, and we're going to take a listen to it. All right, so let's take a listen to what he has to say, and then we'll come back with my thoughts and opinions about it as well. Okay, so let's do it.
Overrule the rightful powers of the president to stop the American people from getting the policies that they voted for in record numbers. It was a grave threat to democracy, frankly, and instead of merely ruling on the immediate cases before them, these judges have attempted to dictate the law for the entire nation. In practice, this meant that if any one of the nearly 700 federal judges disagreed with the policy of a duly elected president of the United States, he or she could block that policy from going into effect or at least delay it for many years, tie it up in the court system. This was a colossal abuse of power which never occurred in American history prior to recent decades. And we've been hit with more nationwide injunctions than were issued in the entire 20th century together. Think of it, more than the entire 20th century, me. I'm grateful to the Supreme Court for stepping in and solving this very, very big and complex problem, and they've made it very simple. I want to thank Justice Barrett, who wrote the opinion brilliantly, as well as Chief Justice Roberts, and Justices Alito, Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Thomas. Great people. Thanks for this decision, and thanks to this decision, we can now promptly file to proceed with numerous policies that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis. And some of the cases we're talking about would be ending birthright citizenship, which now comes to the fore. That was meant for the babies of slaves. It wasn't meant for people trying to scam the system and come into the country on a vacation. This was, in fact, it was the same date, the exact same date, the end of the Civil War. It was meant for the babies of slaves, and it's so clean and so obvious. But this lets us go there and finally win that case, because hundreds of thousands of people are pouring into our country under birthright citizenship, and it wasn't meant for that reason. It was meant for the babies of slaves. So thanks to this decision, we can now promptly file to proceed with these numerous policies and those that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis, including birthright citizenship, ending sanctuary city funding, suspending refugee resettlement, freezing unnecessary funding, stopping federal taxpayers from paying for transgender surgeries, and numerous other priorities of the American people. We have so many of them. I have a whole list. I'm not going to bore you, and I'm going to have Pam get up and say a few words, but there's really, she could talk as long as she wants, because this is a very important decision. This is a decision that covers a tremendous amount of territory. But I want to just thank again the Supreme Court for this ruling. It's a giant. It's a giant. And they should be very proud, and our country should be very proud of the Supreme Court today.
And you know what? Here's the thing. I can't sit up there and say that I disagree with this ruling, with the birthright citizenship, whatever, because at the end of the day, you have to be here legally, and you have to be here to be able to grab your documents And so that way you could become a United States citizen. So that way you can be able
Jellyfish
to
lighting
get
is an all-in-one permanent exterior.
So that way you can be able to exercise all of these different benefits that come with being a United States citizen. So as long as you got all your documents and your paperwork together, hey, you know what? Go out there and be the very best that you can be. But if you over here illegally and the United States taxpayer John Q and Jane Doe, we have to go out here and pay all these, different out of our taxes, whatever, to be able to take care of some people that don't have all the documentation, whatever. And then here's the thing about it: we have a bunch of United States citizens that's homeless, and they're not even receiving a lot of these benefits that a lot of these immigrants that come over here that don't have the documentation that's receiving. So I don't have a problem with this ruling here, and I don't have an issue with it at all or whatever, because again, as a taxpayer, I want my tax dollars to be able to go to support, other people that's in the United States. If it's, homeless people or if it's going towards, paying extra taxes for your schools and roads, whatever the case may be, whatever. But I don't want it going to somebody that's not a United States citizen. Again, I don't have an issue with immigrants or anybody that's over here, whatnot, but if here's the thing, I look at it like this: if I go to your country, I better have all my documentation if I go to your country. You see what I'm saying? I got to have it. So I got to have my passports. I got to have ID. I got to have all this stuff in order for me to be able to come over there. And then if I want to become a citizen in your particular country, then I have to jump through all the different hoops to be able to get all the documentation to be able to become a citizen. So that's the same way it is over here. And I'm just one of the type of people is, I'm going to do right. As long as you do right by me, I'm going to do right by you. And if I got to follow, somebody's rules when I'm over at somebody else's place or at somebody else's, area, land, or location, whatever, I got to abide by those rules, or I'm not going to be over there illegal. Simple as that. So anyway, in the comment section, do you guys agree or disagree with Donald Trump's ruling with this birthright citizenship that he's got the order from? He got the ruling to go ahead from the Supreme Court to be able to do this. Do you guys have an issue with it? Me, I don't have no issue with it at all. So post your comments and concerns at the bottom of this video, because I am dying to be able to hear and read your comments about this particular ruling by Donald Trump. And again, I'm not a Trump supporter. It don't matter to me if you're Democrat or Republican or independent. I'm for the truth. And right now, with what he said, I can't debunk that. I can't go against it whatsoever, because I agree with him 1,000%. All right. So that being said, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and let everybody know exactly where to go for nice fire content. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, 100,000 subscribers, baby. Make sure you subscribe, because we are on our way. Peace. Peace.
Wait. Hold on. What? You done forgotten my name?